So will you tell will you explain what happened? You went, just explain your experience.
I went to a baby shower and felt pretty good going into it. Normally those kind of situations I would be worried about who's there, what they're going to think about how I look. And I went into it just seeing myself and liking the few clothes I had on. And they took some pictures, and the next day they were posted on Facebook. And I looked at them and thought, oh my God, I am so huge. And I really had to stop and think about it and realize that there was old tapes playing in my head. And
yeah, because in order for you to have that judgment, you have to be using a filter to determine that, right? Like you have to use that thinner is always better filter to create that actual, we could say in your brain chemistry, your brain is comparing how you look to some safer ideal. And because it's not matching, your brain sends these chemicals that say, run, this isn't good, warning, hair stands up, skin starts to crawl, type of fight or flight response, right? And
that's exactly the response I was having.
It's like the dog that's stripe goes up and the bird's feathers go, and it's because you've been brainwashed, right? That indoctrinated brainwashing that fat people are bad people. And you need to do something about it because that means you're a terrible human being. And you felt that, and you said, hold up, and you actually said, I don't care. I'm not going to do anything about it. So what? Right? And then what happened to those feelings?
They just went away.
Yeah, so you didn't respond to the fight or flight reaction. You stood fast. You stood there and said, I don't care. I'm not going to do anything. If I, right?
And yeah, and what really brought it home then was not like, it might have been that same day, my daughter-in-law said to me, oh my God, did you see those pictures? I am so huge. My ankles are big. My face is bigger. And what if it doesn't go back down? What if I'm like this all the time? And I said, you know what? What if you are? Your body's changing because you're having a baby. It won't be the same as it was, and it'll be fine.
Mm-hmm.
And that really brought it home for me.
Good. That would
be fine.
Yeah, that's the going into the fear, not by justifying or reasoning or rationalizing. Oh, someday it'll get fixed. Not trying to comply to the thinnerness and it, and temper it through. You'll eventually be thinner. No. So let's go into that feeling. Like, what if that's true? What if you are going to be big ankled the rest of your life permanently? Is that really something to be upset about? Should you feel like you're a terrible human being? Bigger ankles. Let's evaluate the stress that's coming from that, right? Again, you're comparing, right. She's comparing her body to an ideal in her mind that she thinks is safe, right? Whether it's coming from millions of pictures she's seen from the media, or it's coming from a body she's experienced in the past that she got high off her thinness because it was matching what's ideal. The body says, oop, let's remember this. I feel safe here. And so when you see it, there's a difference between what you think and want and what you see and have that creates discontent or the fight or flight response. Right? So anyway, so the technique that I've been teaching you is to not excuse it, don't negotiate with it, accept it as permanent. And it's amazing how quickly that response from the brain just goes, oh, okay. And you move, it's gone. Totally gone, right? Yeah. And don't you agree there's this after effect of feeling good? Like this, like, I can handle that. It's like how your brain would respond to winning a battle against a bear. You'd be like, hell yeah, that's right. Right?
Right.
There is this amazing sense of ability. Like, okay, Like it's very much solidifies or roots. There's like a rooting that happens in terms of how secure you feel, even in a body that is judged by the culture. That's the thinner culture, right? The thinnerness culture. They're the ones that are judging the body, right? It's not everybody.
Right.
So amazing.
Yeah, and the old me would have said to her, "Oh, don't worry. When you have the baby, I'll help you. We'll go on a diet together."
Yeah. See, that would be complying with, you should feel like shit about this.
Yeah, and I realized that, like, yeah, it's like saying, yeah, you should feel like shit because that's the way you look.
Yeah,
this is so not.
Yeah, this is the problem, I think, with a lot of therapists, and they don't know they're doing it, but by agreeing, they think that by agreeing you're being kind and like, yeah, I would feel, yes, I could see why you would feel that way. Oh, that would be hard. They're enabling the abusiveness without knowing it.
Right.
So when people come to me and I'm like, yeah, you are a failure. Let's go into this. You're failing that system. That's actually true. You're inadequate, right? You really are inadequate. Is there something wrong with that, right? We talk about, why internalize that as a complete defining measure of your worth as a human? Just because you're not quite aware at the moment or aware about a certain specific thing doesn't mean that you're dumb. Or we talked about the term an idiot, which is very defining language. That's a sign of someone who is seeking to push someone below them, right? The term dumb, idiot, that's, as soon as that comes out of someone's mouth, I just think someone superior, in their thoughts and ways of being, and how, struggling at something for people who have this narcissism is like, aha, you suck, I'm better than you. So when people who are like that are vocal about their judgment of people's struggle, people who are struggling can internalize that. It's like, oh, I am shitty. I don't know how to do this. I should know. And then I should have these standards. I should be able to do this, which is where you get conditioned as a victim. And to be able to actually look at, okay, let's look at this objectively. Should I feel bad about myself if I'm not aware of how to do this certain task? Or if I forgot? Should I feel bad about myself? Is that an indication of my worth as a human? Or is that just my humanness?
Right.
And when you really ask the question objectively without emotional baggage, you can see that the criticism that is meant to make you feel unworthy as a human being is completely distorted, right? They're distorting. It's an emotion. It's manipulative too. It's manipulative and it's controlling, right?
Yeah.
Especially when the criticism is coming from family, spouses, but also your own cultural ideology like religion or body image. So if we look at body image and they're saying that you, when you looked in the mirror and you felt like, oh, that fight or flight response to I'm unsafe. This is unsafe body. This is not good. I'm being judged, criticized. People can see this. It's on Facebook. That visceral physical response stems from the actual awareness that there are people who are going to go, she's failing piece of shit. She's a terrible human being, idiot. What's wrong, right? That type of projection, right, that you heard growing up and you've actually projected onto others, you feel that. And you have to take a moment to say, hold on, should I feel bad about this? And it's like, if the worst thing you have to experience physically is being obese, if that's the worst thing that you physically experience in your lifetime, oh my God, you need to celebrate. You've got it easy. That really isn't a big deal. There are so many worse possibilities in a lifetime that actually cause harm.
Right.
Where this one really doesn't. The idea that it does is coming from an industry that's selling drugs and services such as the diet.
You know, I did Weight Watchers. That's one of the things I did. And I was just thinking, when you go to that meeting, if you lost weight, you're lauded and applauded. And if you gained weight or didn't lose weight, you're a piece of shit. And here's the things that you need to do to fix your piece of shit life. It's really awful. Like, you just keep subjecting yourself to feeling like shit.
Like a failure.
Or, yeah.
Like the body's failing, you're failing, and it enables that terrible response in the brain to there's something wrong with me, when if you take a step out of that and really look at the body, first of all, you have to question the idea that a thinner body actually does anything. Does your if you were thinner, what is that thinner body actually doing? Besides taking a lot of time, thought, and energy and obsessive compulsiveness to maintain, right?
Right.
What's it actually doing to the people around you when you walk in the doors and your bright lights of thinness shines and everybody absorbs the sunlight of your thinness? Thank you so much for being thinner. You bring me joy in your thinner body.
No, I can completely see how it's a form of narcissism.
It is, I know. And it's a supply to we use the body as our abuse. Not everybody trying to lose weight is pathological, but the goal in weight loss is definitely narcissistic in terms of I want to feel worthy of something, and you're using the body image or thin image as your narcissistic supply, right?
Right.
And that's how you abuse the body. It's a similar relationship to a narcissist and their, narcissists have objects that they own. Then those objects can be humans or countries, right? So you have to look at how you've owned the body and enslaved the body. And you're totally inadequate to do it. But blame the body, blame the environment, blame everybody, which is what narcissists do. They never take ownership of the issue. It's the diet's fault. And if they do internalize their struggle, I suck at everything. That's that martyr positionality, which is actually totally... you're hurting me. They're doing this to me. I have to experience my body sucks. That's the weight. That's actually a manipulative tactic to continue to abuse and get whatever narcotic you want, right? Common in binge eating. Anyway, so it's not necessarily to say that everybody out there who is trying to lose weight is actually, a destructive, poisonous, borderline personality that is literally taking ownership of everybody around them and causing a destructive chaos everywhere they go. I mean, that's pathological narcissism. But it does take a degree of that. A lot of people who've been victims of that type of person have issues with body image, because oftentimes when you are the narcissist, owned by a narcissist, again, that's how they feel, you have to comply with their superficiality. You have to be gorgeous, beautiful, thin. They actually shame people who don't have the perfect visual because they believe that that's an indication of your superiority. Does this sound like anybody you know? Anyways, so, people who've been victims of this, which we could say we all have been, because the diet industry and the media is actually portraying that narcissism and portraying the shame that you should have. You shouldn't go to the beach. You can't you need to get your body ready to go to the beach. And here's a body that we believe you should use. Look at this model here. That's what you've got to look like to be ready at the beach.
Right.
And you see it over and over and over again from childhood on. And what do you think you're going to feel like at the beach in your body that doesn't look like that? As if the beach is about your body, which is what this industry is portraying. Your body is going to be the center of the beach. So if you don't look like this, everybody's going to be looking at you just like everybody's looking at the TV, right? Like you're on the screen of the TV, right?
Yeah.
The center of everybody's focus. I think that's a big problem with people who are conditioned by the TV, is you're unconsciously projecting that you're on TV, right? And everybody's looking at you at the beach going, oh my God, I'm totally all over the place right now. Anyways. So the willingness to say, yeah, I'm willing to go onto that screen, right? And be on that Facebook shot and be in this body, even though there are those people out there who are defining me as which is actually you. No one really cares, right? That would be the old narcissistic personality.
Right.
I'm okay with that. It's the willingness to expose that body is compared to the work and torture you had to do to fix that body or to prevent that body from being that big, to hide that difference between exposure and chronic torturing. Wouldn't you just rather just have that moment of, yeah, this is it?
Oh, yeah.
One of the things, I don't know if I've mentioned this to you, but it's like the America's burqa, right? So we can sit here and be total judgers of other cultures and religions that use burqas, right? To cover their women, to keep them from being seen, objectified, subjectified, right? It's really, if you talk to someone who wears cloth and cover, it's really not about control so much as it is giving the woman freedom to not be judged. America's burqa is a thin supremacist concept of a woman. So you have to wear it's like you can't go out unless you're in your thin burqa. Think about that for a second.
Yeah.
So which one's, the fact that you are not given freedom really to express yourself and to be in your body, you have to be there's like a picture of the body you're supposed to have on at all times, right? How is that better? Right? So you can't have a natural occurring body. You have to have the body that we tell you should wear. So if you don't wear that thin burqa, you're shamed and judged and seen as inferior.
Sounds so crazy when you put it like that.
So in reality, is this idea that we're free in this country to express ourselves, is that even true?
No.
Nope. I mean, it is if you don't buy into it, if you don't internalize that system of thin supremacy or health righteousness or femininity or masculinity, or really it's the misogyny and pedophilia that this country has maintained. But it's not the country, it's the media that's maintaining it. The media is making a shit ton of money. So they put an image in your head and you don't even realize they're controlling you and telling you what you need to do to be valued. You pay them, right? And you comply. Why is that freedom? But yet someone who is going to cover themselves so you can't judge them, and that's not.
Wow.
Something to think about in the thin burqa society, who shames everybody who's not wearing the thin burqa.
I have never even considered that before.
Am I just twisting things into something they're not?
No, I think it's absolutely, that makes perfect sense. The whole thing is just so messed up.
Yeah, the illusion that you're free. There's an illusion that you're free.
Right.
But actually, if you internalize the system, do you have your free will? Actually, you only have the free will if you're willing to give yourself grace from the systems.
Exactly.
Right? So if you're put into a box and have to comply, is that actually freedom?
No.
Especially if you're manipulated by fear of shame, disapproval, abandonment, rejection, right?
Yeah, it's the opposite of freedom.
Now think of how what I just described is used in how many systems out there. If you don't, these are the rules. If you follow them, we love you. If you don't, get out. You have to repent. You have to ask for forgiveness, right?
Yeah.
From the system. Right.
Yeah.
You need to get on this diet. You can't just live like that. Look at you. You're pregnant. Your legs are getting bigger. You are going to have to fix this. Because our lives are meant to be fixated on the body. We're not allowed to have an open mind to actually think about other things. We have to focus on making sure our bodies fit the burqa first. The thin burqa, mind you. The thin burqa with big breasts and a big butt. And don't forget, now I got to magnify the lips and the eyelashes. The burqa is getting more and more and more strict. Oh, and the fitness level, you have to not just have the look, you have to have the functionality of an athlete, or a model. So it's 3-dimensional burqa, right? Which is like, in reality, again, the clients I have who believe in that, it is so different. Like, the goal is that they don't have to be held to those standards. They can dress the way they want to, actually. But when they go out in public, it protects them from having all of this, like, that's coming at them, especially from misogyny, right? So it's understandable to me why, but to me, I don't wear anything, right? Because I have grace. There's grace. So I can be shamed and judged from every angle possible. And I have the grace of free will and self-connectedness, right? And it isn't the word being self-righteous. It isn't self-centeredness. It's actually just accepting the authenticity of this creation, which isn't my creation. This body is not my creation. I just consciously am aware and have this body that created itself, right? It's a form of the flesh of the universe, right? Of the earth. And I'm going to sit here and say this body defines me as a human being. Is a soul, and I have to make sure that I mold it in a way that everybody can accept it. Really, it's so fixated on the outside and has nothing to do with the inside. So to me, it's like, I'm going to let this outside become play. It's fun. It's joy. It's a gift to experience, to be able to see. That's a gift. Hear is a gift. Taste food. What a gift, right? Those are gifts. They're not entitlements to me. And I'm going to enjoy them in the abundance that we live in. And I am defined by the actual integrity that is backing the energy that I bring, which I don't even need to claim because I don't create that either. I'm just experiencing all of it. What a gift. And
which is the beauty of the whole thing.
Right. Anyways, I'm I'm going to stop recording. Thanks for letting me record this.